Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you for jumping on to tonight's presentation. Tonight we have Mr. Bill Wilmot over this side and Mr. Steve Thomas down below. My name's John Bone, and we are here to present to you the Utopian Global Business Opportunity. So, without further ado, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, then feel free to drop any questions you may have during the presentation, whether you're watching this live or in the replay. Okay, drop those comments or questions in the comment sections down below, and one of us here at Generational Wealth Club will get back to you ASAP with an answer. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, please hit that subscribe button, and again, if you have any questions, feel free to use the comments in the YouTube channel to ask any questions you may have, and one of us will get back to you in due course. So we're here tonight to present to you the phenomenal Utopian Global presentation. Okay, something that we are all very excited to be a part of. Steve and Bill have been in this a lot longer than myself. I'm the new guy here, but again, you know, I've been here since April, very excited, very enthusiastic about what we have a hold of here. So without further ado, let's get this presentation underway. And like I said, if you have any questions during the presentation, please drop them in the comments and we will get back to you. So first slide up. When you deduct the hours you sleep, eat, commute, work, and the time needed for all those things you have to do each and every day, most people are lucky to be left with 1 or 2 hours to do what they actually want to do. But even if they had the time, would they have the money to do those things? So what is the solution? Well, there is a way to reclaim your life by building a home-based business that's simple to understand, so anyone can do it. It's a business that appeals to a wide variety of people. And addresses a growing problem in our environment. The best part is it doesn't need to take up an awful lot of your time. So right now, we are facing all kinds of challenges, okay, both environmentally and financially. You only have to look on the news to see the situation that our world is facing with the epidemic of the waste plastic. Okay, oceans filling up with plastic, landfills filling up with plastic. And then, of course, there's the challenging times that we face financially. Okay, that's a global problem. You know, people are worse off today than 10 or 20 years ago. Personal finances are being stretched in households around the world. Our pounds, our dollars, our euros, they don't go as far as they used to anymore. And this is all down to events, basically, that are beyond our control. So we're here to show you a way of putting some extra cash in yours and your family's pockets. Just bring Bill back. There you are. Okay. So families are struggling. Okay. They're struggling to put food on the table. They're struggling to keep roofs over their heads. You see on the news again the gross influx of food banks that are popping up around the countries. You know, I saw a news article the other day on the BBC News about the growing food banks that are dotted around here in the UK, and the influx of families that are using those food banks now on a regular basis. It's a scary, scary thing. And then, of course, there's the growing homeless population that we're seeing in countries all over the world. Personal debt as well. It's at a record high. And like a house of cards, this could collapse at any given moment. It only takes, you know, for example, a missed payment on a mortgage, or a missed payment on your loan, or a blown up car engine, something like that, and the cards can very easily come tumbling down. And then there's the global resources that are being consumed and at alarming rate. Okay, with the population explosion around the world, you know, these resources are becoming more and more in demand. But there is hope, okay? And that's what we're here today to share with you. We can face our economic worries head on and redress the balance while being kinder to the environment. So with that said, I'm going to hand it over the slides now to my good friend Steve. So Steve, over to you, buddy.
Cheers, John. Well, presenting, it's the Utopian Global Ecosystem. This embraces a real business, real assets, and can provide a real income. And we'll talk about the various assets in a minute. But how it works is basically you can earn from income-producing energy assets. We can safeguard wealth using gold and silver. Profit from turning plastic waste back into oil, add an additional or replacement household income, and gain a better financial know-how, something that hardly anybody has. So basically we work with an energy company called Store. And the Store is a company based in the States, fairly new. It's just over a year's, it's just over a year's old now. But it is combining a lot of expertise from various people, which we'll come on to a little bit later on. But Store has got shareholdings, and these are tokenized based on the blockchain. So you get equity tokens distributed on the blockchain. This gives you the opportunity to store your own coins in your own personal wallet. And you can start from 99 euros and you can go all the way up to €1 million if you've got that sort of money. It's backed by real income producing assets. Just recently, the company completed its third oil well purchase, this time in Texas, in a place called Raccoon Bend. And every time it goes out and buys an asset like that, it not only do they produce an income for the company, but they also add value to the company, and that's why the price of the tokens goes up. Now, they're all backed by real assets. And what these assets will do as the income comes flowing in, once it hits a certain level, those profits will be shared amongst all token holders on a quarterly basis. So if you can go on to the next slide. Oh, we just missed one. There we go. So I mentioned about the team having many, many years of experience. The Store team has over 250 years of experience. That's in the oil industry, geology, mineral reclamation. And these are all areas that we're active in. You've got Ryan Messer, who's the CEO there. Rand Leddington, he's the guy who's heading up what is known as the midstream operation, but also the plastics to oil side of the business as well. He's very expert in that. You've got Philip Judge and Anthony Slaughter, Robin Anthony Slaughter. Both these guys are mineral experts, and they've identified various opportunities which combined, will turn this company into a $1 billion company over the next few years. So at the moment, it's just starting out. In a few years' time, it will be a $1 billion company with all the assets and the resources that we're tapping into. But, sort of one of the fundamental things which is different from Store is Utopian Global helps people protect their wealth with precious metals. So it's got a deal with the LBMA, that's the London Bullion Market Association refiner, Arga Heraeus in Switzerland, which is one of the world's top refiners. You can start at just 25 euros. You can gain 24/7 access onto your gold and silver. You got secure private vaulting with Loomis International, which is one of the world's biggest companies involved with handling, sort of valuable commodities. There's LBMA accredited courier service to deliver the gold and silver to your door if you so wish. And the resources are independently audited twice yearly. So basically you've got sort of you're buying your gold from an LBMA accredited refiner. You can keep it in an LBMA accredited vault, or have it transported to your door by a dedicated courier. And this is important because this maintains the value of your precious metals up until the point you sell them or you take delivery of them. And obviously, it just shows the quality of people that we're working with. So on that, I think if I pass over to Bill, he will give a few more details about being a customer and running the business. Over to you, Bill.
Thanks very much, Steve, and good evening to all our viewers watching tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the business side of the whole thing, really, in terms of, if you're looking for home-based business or you're looking to, make your money work harder for you. This is what it's all about. So essentially, we've got this fusion of two companies, really. On one hand, we've got the energy company Store, which Steve mentioned, and also the marketing side, which is Utopian Global. And we're all members here tonight of Utopian Global. That's how we came to be here tonight. Now, the great thing about this is that we're offering this, this precious metals you can buy as a customer, 4-9 gold, I call it, and silver at near to wholesale price to protect your wealth. What I mean by that is really gold and silver as well are looked upon as inflation hedges, and also they're seen as I suppose a safe haven in times of global uncertainty. And we're certainly seeing a few bumps in the road right now. We can also buy as customers digital equity tokens in the form of Store. These are essentially asset-backed tokens, as Steve mentioned, and we can actually earn quarterly rewards from the profits of those operations. So you can see the value of your Store tokens rise when essentially the company, as Steve explained earlier, they go ahead and use the funds raised for the token sale to buy physical real assets. And the profits of those assets then shared to us as stakeholders. As it says there, we get paid by bank transfer, or we can convert our earnings into precious metals or Bitcoin. Next slide, please, John. So what's most important to you? Could it be extra income? Maybe financial security? Maybe you're looking for more time. Perhaps you like the idea of having your own home-based business. Maybe you've got a hankering to retire early. Maybe you've got children and want to leave a legacy. So the question is, are you ready to start? So become a business owner with us and own your life. Take control of your future. Expand your potential. Work with those you choose. Believe in yourself. Enjoy success. Set your goals and work at your own pace. Live life as you want it. Now, 1 second, John, before we move on. I just want to expand on a little bit. So what we're trying to do here is really give you a choice around, most of us work with an employer. So obviously we are working a 9 to 5. Maybe we're limited by the income we can actually create for ourselves. This is a way for you to expand your potential, as it says, create more income. And ideally, with that extra income, you can start to enjoy the lifestyle more. That is what we're trying to offer you today. Next slide, please, John. So let's go to some of the features and benefits of building this business for you. So we can gain the same benefits as customers, but as a member. Also, we can increase the holding of our store for a genuine 50 per month membership, which means you're actually accumulating more store each month. Or we can move on and build a home-based business by sharing Utopian Global's messages and services. So really, the reality is you can just collect the store if you want to, or you can choose to actually go ahead and share the vision of this company with other people. And it says there, help others achieve their goals. This is very critical. Obviously, we're here tonight because we have a huge passion for this company. We know what their vision is and where they're leading us. We've had some very exciting news in the last few days. That's really set a new sort of vision and horizon for us. Also, you can access an unlimited income potential plus earn cash bonuses and ongoing commissions from each sale. So the reality is there's a range of income streams here. We're not going to cover those all tonight. This is the one that is being driven by your effort and your actually hunger to make an income. And we'll talk about the passive income in a few minutes. But the idea is that you can qualify for a range of incentives. Some are travel, some are gifts, and some are cash. The idea is that you set your own mission and your own sort of targets, and you basically run your own life. You own your own life. Next slide, please, John. So all we do here really is share what we do with others. The more you share, the more you can earn. So if you want to earn an extra £500, £1,000 per month, we can show you how. You can earn a regular passive income from your business and investments. You can make a difference for yourself and your family. You can become financially independent and break free perhaps from the job you don't like very much. It's up to you. Some people love their job, so you can continue to do their job and do this around the side of that. or you can move on and wave goodbye to the rat race. Are you ready to get started? Next slide, please, John. So on these slides here, we're going to show you a sample, really, of what you can expect to earn if you put your mind to it through Utopian Global. Now, I'm going to touch on the passive side here quickly because it's a mixture, really. So this is actually a reflection of the packages we would see when we go into the website and choose which ones we want to purchase. So these are actually set out in description. So if I go to the far left-hand column, we've got packages. Here we've got Member, Elite, Pro, and All-Star. We have the price in euros from 390 all the way down to 3,500. Now, this is the tokens that Steve mentioned earlier. So right now, if you were to buy the 390 package, you get 390 tokens. That means they're €1 each right now. Now, we have been advised that this is going to rise shortly because we are driving production back for the business, and that's going to drive the token price up. But until the end of September, you can still buy these tokens at €1 each on the 390 package. Now, if we look forward, we know that the company's plans are essentially to go and list these tokens on a public exchange at €4 to €5. That's their target. So that would equate to basically 4 times this figure here, 390 times 4, 15, 16 euros. It's around a 400% or 4 times increase in the token value. Now, if I can touch on the other ones just quickly, you'll get a flavor of how it works. So the 790 would give you, what's itself, 873 tokens, and that would equate to 4.4 times increase in value. The Pro here would give you 1675, and that would equate to 447. And the monetary figures are shown in this column here, as you can see. The All-Star would offer you 4,750 tokens, and that equates to 5.4 times. So this is a illustration, example. We're not going to guarantee it, anything like that, but you can get a rough idea of what our mission is, if you like, and the vision from the company. Okay, John, please, next slide. So that's the passive side of the business we just talked about. Now, obviously, you can actually choose to run this as a home-based business and generate income from really sharing this company and what they're doing with other people that might be like-minded and see what you see. So, for example, if you were to go ahead and introduce Steve here on this member package, he spent 390, you would get a total of 146 in commissions. If you went to show him the elite one and he had 790, you get 264. He's got the budget for the Pro Mac package here, 1,500, you would get 500. The All-Star pays 3,500, so cost 3,500, and you got 998 in commission. So we're not saying there's a wrong and a right way of doing this. You can choose what you want to do. So if you want to set yourself a target to actually generate a certain amount of income per month, you can mix and match this to obviously achieve those aims. And really, it's just showing people the potential of the business, the fundamentals, and critically, the people behind the business who are running it and have experience to make this a success. Okay, then, next slide, please. So this example here gives you a good example, actually. Let's say, for example, you wanted to earn an extra £500 per month. This shows you how you can do that. So here's the member package. Let's forget all of those for the time being. So if you sold 4 of those, you get 584 in commissions. On the elite, 2 of those would make 528. On the 1,500, 1 of those would make 500. Hit your target. And of course, if you find someone with a budget to do so, you'll make almost 1,000 from a $3,500 sale or euro sale. So that kind of gives you a flavour of what we're doing. I'm not sure what the next slide is. Will it pop across, my friend? Okay. So now we're looking at £1,000 a month. That would make a transformation in most people's lives, I'm sure. Think about how you could spend that on a holiday, maybe a new car, maybe just doing it in the kitchen. It's entirely down to you. But the idea is giving you more cash flow. That's the whole point. With more cash flow, you've got more choices, and you can buy more assets with cash flow as well, which we always recommend. So as we go through the slide, again, we're starting with the 390 package. 7 of those, 1,022. On the elite package, 4, we give you 1,056. The Pro package, we'll give you 1,000 for 2 of them. And 1 All-Star gives that magic figure, almost 998. So it's a pretty good, way to see how you can generate that extra income with obviously just sharing with your friends and family how you might actually generate more income for yourself, and obviously put it to good use. I think there's another slide, John, is there? So just to summarize then, we've taken you through really a presentation explaining really some of the obvious challenges we see today as parents, as family people. We probably could do with some more extra cash to obviously have that different lifestyle, or perhaps you just want to or like the idea of collecting assets that pay you passive income and ongoing income. These are the reasons that I think we all three joined this business. I'm in it now 3 years. I think Steve's pretty close to that. John's the new boy on the block, as he did say, but he's catching up very quickly. But I think we'll take questions now. We'll have a little discussion at the end here and cover any points we might have missed during the course of the presentation.
Brilliant. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Bill. So there you go, guys. Short and sharp tonight. We hope we've done a good job to give you the information you require. Feel free to, drop any comments down below, especially you replay viewers. Okay, we know that the majority of views come from the replay views. So if you're watching this in the replay, then I'm talking to you specifically. Please put any questions you may have down below, and one of us here at Generational Wealth Club will get back to you. So hopefully, that's given you a fairly good insight. The reasons that we're interested and excited about this, and like Bill just said, I'm the new guy. Okay, I've been looking at this for a few months. I had been looking at this for a few months, and as I saw things progress, and as I started to get an understanding of what this is all about, I became very excited about it. I've seen a lot of opportunities over the years, a lot of different, make money passively kind of opportunities, and some of them I dipped my toes in, but the majority of them didn't really work over the long term. I made some money here, lost some money there, but this one I've got a really superb feeling about. Now, having gone up to Birmingham, I live down on the southeast coast of the UK, and I spent 3 hours on the motorway to drive up to Birmingham a few months to actually meet the CEOs, Bill Rao and Ryan Messer. Bill from Utopian Global, Ryan from Store. And I made that journey because I wanted to see and meet these guys in the flesh. That's something I always make it my priority to do as and when I can. If I'm working with a company, I always want to know who the people are that are behind it. And I've got to say that I was absolutely blown away by both Bill and Ryan. Fantastic guys. I mean, obviously, Steve and Bill, you've met them yourselves as well. But when I met them in the flesh, it just gave me a lot more confidence in the vision moving forward. The projects are phenomenal. I mean, who doesn't want to be involved in something that's going to do good for our environment on a global scale, and we can also benefit from that financially at the same time? That is a win-win in my books. But yeah, Bill, I mean, do you want to give it just a minute or two? I mean, we're hitting 23 and a half minutes. We've got a plan for 20.
I know you're sticking for time, John, so it won't take too much time. Yeah. I've just got a few things I wanted to mention, actually.
Go for it.
I was actually reading a post on Facebook earlier today. It was a really good point the lady made, actually. She was talking about the minimum wage in the UK and how hard or how challenging it is to obviously live on that. So I think she came out to the conclusion that after tax, there were about £1,238 take home. Yeah. These are the numbers I saw, and I haven't checked them out, but I'm just giving you an example, really. She worked out that after all the expenses, one would expect to pay for, they left about £50 left at the end of the month. Yeah. So there isn't much wiggle room there if things go bad. So if your car breaks down, or you're off work and you're self-employed, the point I'm trying to make, really, there isn't much there to hang back with. Yeah, you don't have much wiggle room. So this is a way for you, really, to generate an extra income around what you do, and therefore can actually improve your lifestyle and give you that sort of backstop, really. So if your car has a flat tire, you can afford to get a new one. Yeah, if you've got to go and get your teeth done, you can afford that. If you want to take a holiday, again, you can go and do that. This is the whole point. It gives you more choices. So that's what this is all about from a personal level. On a bigger picture level, we had a really good call yesterday with Ryan Messer, CEO of Store, and also Bill Rao, who's the CEO of Utopian Global. They have been actually planning for 4 months to go into the US market. And this is very important that we get the regulations right. So right now, they're in an eight-week sort of phase of actually doing the documentation to take the first steps towards that. Now, what that means is that they will that will allow what they call high net worth and institutional level investors who are looking at us already a choice of coming in. Now, those people, I'm not trying to show big numbers, but those people will, to qualify for it, they will have to have about $1 million in net worth and also around 200K per annum to qualify. Now, I know that Ryan's already been talking to some people already in a presentation, and they're really, really, really excited about it. Yeah. So just waiting for that documentation to complete. Now, you might think, well, why is Bill talking to me about this? Doesn't affect me. Well, actually, it does. Because remember, the money we're collecting through the sales of tokens is essentially our funding. Yeah. So those funds will be put to good use. So they're going to be good. They're going to be used really to buy those process plants. Going to be used to actually go and look more closely at those minerals we talked about earlier in Ecuador. So these actually are used to buy and develop assets, which ultimately increase the price of the token.
And ultimately benefits every one of us that own store tokens.
Exactly. You've finished my sentence for me.
Sorry, I just had to get that in. Sorry.
I just thought it was worth saying that because, I mean, I've bought shares before, but I haven't really examined the details and inner workings of how they work. And it's obviously, to me, it made sense that when you buy an asset as a company, your stock rises. Yeah. The balance sheet is now showing that new asset you purchased. So to give you an extreme example, if I was a really wealthy man, and I'm not there yet, okay, let's say I was Apple and I wanted to buy Microsoft. You can understand very clearly that I'm buying a company that has real assets and real cash flow. So therefore, my stock will go up to reflect that purchase. So when we went and purchased this oil field that Steve mentioned earlier in Texas, what happened? Our stock went up because we bought an asset that pays cash flow. So it's just a simplistic way of explaining how we are doing business and why we're so excited, because we know we've got an acquisition program going for the next 12 to 18 months and beyond. And that is why our stock price is going to go up. And now we're going to have a very hungry set of investors willing to come and buy their tokens. So the question for you is, do you want to be in before them or after them?
Definitely before. Definitely. Thanks for that, Bill. Steve, you got a couple of minutes? You want to just share any of your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I thought also, I mean, the focus very often is sometimes on doom and gloom about people not having enough money and things like that. But just to twist things around a little bit and give a more of an upbeat sort of finale to the presentation, there's more and more people who are getting to the point where they think, well, you know what, I don't want to work all my life. I don't want to be stuck in a job. I don't want to work in an office for, 30, 40 years or whatever it is. So there's more and more people who are kind of leaving university, getting a job, working hard in their job, building up their kind of funds, if you like, building up their savings, investments, and so on and so forth, and retiring early. They're retiring in their 30s and 40s. And there's more and more people like that. And what we offer is one of those assets that people can buy, the store tokens, and because they keep on spitting out money, if you like, from the production of oil, from the conversion of plastics into to oil, from the mineral recovery, which is gold and silver and copper as well. The sales of those add to the cash flow, as Bill was mentioning. And the more assets that are owned, the more cash flow that comes through. So people coming in now, they see the business and they're looking at the business, and a lot of people have bought in, and they kind of put two and two together and say, well, if I have this and this and this, this will give me the sort of cash flow I'm looking for in the long term. So they built this into their overall plan, if you like, to give them the opportunity to retire early and gain the benefit from the profit shares that we offer. So that's another reason that a lot of people might be looking at this thinking, well, what's it got to do with me? Because most of the people, okay, they might not fit my circumstances. it's just down to, what are you wanting out of your life in the future? How are you going to secure that income? How are you going to make sure that, the way you want to live your life is going to be supported financially? And this is basically how we can help. This income producing asset comes in passively. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to get your fingers dirty or hands dirty. You don't have to know anything about oil or plastics to oil or anything like that. Just simply come in, buy your tokens, sit back, and the company will take care of everything. It's as simple as that. And that was it. So on that little note, I'll pass you back to John.
Well, I can elaborate just a little bit from my personal journey, okay? Because by day, I'm a window cleaner. Now, I've been a window cleaner for 12, 13 years. I have around about 500-600 customers. A lot of those customers are elderly, retired folk. I live in a seaside location. It's a popular retirement place. So a lot of my customers are retirees. And something dawned on me quite recently is the fact that, I've created very good relationships with these people. So I get kind of another perspective on the world, because I have conversations with my customers and I see them, living their life in retirement, if you like. And I have conversations about what they've done with their life, what careers they had, what, businesses they ran. And something that really struck me was how many of these folks seem to be just getting by. They've worked a full life. They've owned businesses. They've been in corporate. And yet it just seems to be a little bit, now what? Every time I go around there, they're maybe sitting in their front room watching TV, or they're in the garden, and I just got that. I'm quite a sort of person that's sort of thinking about my future now. I'm at the age, I'm a couple of years off the big 50, and I'm thinking, what do I want for the retirement of my life? Do I want to be window cleaning until I'm 67? Definitely not. Okay, I don't even want to be working until I'm 60, to be honest. But if we stay on this treadmill that we're all told to stay on, and this is how it works, and then we get to 60, it's 67 here in the UK now, retirement age, that'll probably be a lot more. I just started thinking outside the box. I want to be able to retire, 55, maybe 60. And how am I going to achieve that? Now, ordinarily, I would never have been able to purchase a share in an oil field. That's not available to folks like you and me. Okay. But with Store, we've been able to achieve that. And with the other projects, we're also very high yielding return on investment projects, which we can also take part in. So for me, as a window cleaner with no pension and no plans for, my financial situation, when I came across this, I was all in. Okay. It took me a little while to get my head around it and understand it. But after that, I was in. I'm heavily invested. My mother is invested. My wife's invested. My 22-year-old son's invested, because I want us all to get on this train and all be in a better financial position. So kind of a unique insight from the perspective that I get to see on a weekly basis, a daily basis with my customers. So I think we'll wrap it up, right, guys? Unless I'm not even going to ask you if you've got anything else to say, because we are here for 3 minutes. So listen, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation this evening. Again, if you're watching this in the replay, please do keep on adding those comments down below. I'm just going to share a few final slides. This is our disclaimer. Okay, now we do not offer financial advice to provide recommendations about investments. You should contact an independent financial advisor if this is what you require. We also recommend that you study the respective terms and conditions of any businesses we feature. So basically, we do these Facebook Lives every Monday and Wednesday right here in our Facebook business page for Generational Wealth Club. So come along and join us, invite your friends, invite your family, invite everybody, because, we want to share this. The more people we can help, that is our plan for moving forwards. The more people we can help, the better for everybody. So please come and join us at 9 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, and you've got the link there direct to this business page where you're viewing it now, FBme/GWC Club. And the last slide is thank you. Okay, thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels so that you don't miss any of our new videos. Always come back here to this page, 9 p.m. Monday and Wednesday. And without further ado, We will say thank you for jumping on tonight. Let's just take that screen away. That screen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Bill. We'll see you again Monday night, 9 p.m. UK time. Take care. See you next time.